Coming up on this edition of Southwest TV News. A unique project is being proposed for the Swift Current area, as SaskWind has the intention to start up a $90 million community-owned wind and solar facility. Main Street Swift Current hosted an open house this week, updating local businesses on project ideas for the downtown. Back in April, consultants with Schaefer Andrew Limited of Medicine Hat hosted an open house at the Swift Current Mall, showcasing a proposed multifamily residential development for the Springs Valley area. And now this new concept plan has been approved by City Council. Thanks for joining us here today. A $90 million wind and solar power facility is being proposed for Swift Current and the surrounding area. We find out more in today's top story. A unique project is being proposed for the Swift Current area, as SaskWind has the intention to start up a $90 million community-owned wind and solar facility. Residents of Swift Current and the surrounding area were able to meet one-on-one with reps of SaskWind at a special meeting on Monday and learn more about the project. An on-screen presentation highlighted the need for approximately 200 acres of land and a community investment of $90 million. A project which is still in the early stages, as a number of factors still need to be realized, from community buy-in to a deal with SaskPower.
We've been in discussions with them now for 4 years, and clearly things have moved along rapidly and are moving along rapidly with this new renewable energy policy. So I think it could happen very quickly. It really depends on the community and how the community views this. People need to think about this, talk about it amongst themselves, and I think that initial community feedback will be critical to how quickly things move. But they could move very quickly, I think.
Glennie adds the Southwest is a prime location for wind power, with his firm eyeing a number of locations for the project.
It's kind of, as I mentioned, it's sort of an iterative process because we're talking to SaskPower about possible points of interconnection, but also this is a community project, so it's really up to the community to come forward with ideas about where this might connect. So it's kind of an iterative process, but yes, we have looked at a number of locations. And one of the attractions of this region is that broadly the grid is very strong in the Swift Current area, so there are a number of places where we could connect.
SaskWind has been in discussions with the RM of Swift Current for the past number of years. And according to Reeve Bob Neufeld, he's intrigued by the project. But in the end, it will be up to the landowners and other community members to invest in the project.
I myself really think the community, where the money stays here, that's a real good opportunity. And I think that's very important that we can invest. Let Saskatchewan build Saskatchewan and invest in Saskatchewan. And we saw that in a few places, like you take the Southwest Terminal. Hey, they're often flying, and that's community owned.
In the coming weeks, SaskWind will entertain meetings with interested investors and landowners who would like to come on board with the project. And if the goal of $90 million is raised through community members and other interested parties, the SaskWind project could be up and running by October of 2019. Another exciting season of Market Square returns to downtown Swift Current, featuring live entertainment, fresh garden produce, crafts, and other unique vendors. Market Square, every Saturday at the corner of Central and Chaplin. Proudly presented by the City of Swift Current and Standard Motors, along with Innovation Credit Union and Southwest TV News. Main Street Swift Current has 12 unique ideas in place for the downtown core, and the next step is to get local businesses on board with those projects. The heart of any community is its downtown, and over the past several months, the Main Street Swift Current Committee, along with its consultants, have been meeting with various businesses and other stakeholders to discuss their vision for the future of the downtown. This week, the renderings for 12 concept ideas for building revitalization, more green space, and changes in the street system were unveiled during an open house, with hopes of building a sense of excitement and optimism for positive change to the downtown.
Now we got some ideas. Now it's a process of narrowing down some of those ideas to to start on some projects. Some of these other projects that we're looking at are, going to be years in the making as well too. But obviously, in order to get projects off the ground, there has to be a starting point, and we feel we've got a great starting point to get things off and running.
Part of the revitalization process involves architectural designs for new building facades. And 3 businesses from the downtown, including the Professional Building, the Acropole, and Sputtergotch Toys, had mock designs created by the consultants of what their buildings could look like. Architectural designs which are available through Main Street Swift Current grants.
As a business owner, I'm no architect. Don't really know a whole lot about construction, so it provides kind of a foundation or a basis to get some ideas generated and to get an appreciation of what can be done and kind of some of the costs associated with it. And of course, the Main Street Saskatchewan program is to be able to provide grants to get those to get that work done. I believe for the Heritage Grant, it's a maximum of maximum $20,000 on a matching grant basis, and there's an application process.
As the Main Street Swift Current Committee continues discussions with local businesses to start individual projects, a new sign welcoming visitors to Swift Current's downtown will be designed and installed at the top of Central and First Avenue later this year. Swift Current is one of 11 communities participating in the Main Street Saskatchewan program, which targets downtown revitalization and heritage building preservation. More details on the Main Street Swift Current program can be found online. The City of Swift Current has approved a new concept plan which involves development for commercial and residential housing. We find out more in this report. Back in April, consultants with Schaefer Andrew Limited of Medicine Hat hosted an open house at the Swift Current Mall, showcasing a proposed multifamily residential development for the Springs Valley area. The project would include a mix of multifamily housing and commercial outlets on over 90 acres of land. And now this new concept plan has been approved by City Council.
The original concept plan that was approved about 10 years ago ended up over time, the lots that were there were actually what was in the concept plan were too big, and also the total area as strictly commercial just wasn't going to lend itself to being developed in what the property owners thought would be, I'll call it a timely fashion for them. So this concept plan amendment that they've come with is going to allow for some high density residential development, and as well resize the commercial lots to a more acceptable size for potential developers.
And as far as there being a demand for multifamily or high-density housing in Swift Current, Marcus says projects are based on the interest of individual developers.
The market analysis is not done by the city per se, but by interested people in terms of developing it, and they feel that there's a need for it. And right now, there is no, if someone was interested in developing high-density housing, whether it's townhouses, condos, or apartment buildings, there is no property available right now for sale. There is some property that's undeveloped, but it's already held by people who potentially would develop something on it.
Now, with Swift Current City Council's approval of the Springs Valley Concept Plan, landowners of this area can now proceed with negotiations for property development with interested parties, with all utilities and roads in place. Well, this brings to a close another episode of Southwest TV News, reporting the stories that matter to you. We always welcome your news tips. You can always reach us here by phone at our studio or by email to contact us at southwesttvnews.com. Also, be sure to join us daily online for the latest news from across Southwest Saskatchewan and so much more at southwesttvnews.com. And be sure to follow us on a range of social media. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm Carol Andrews.